Yo, what's up guys, it's Unnamed Gaming back with another banger of a video. Today I've decided to do something slightly different, because for weeks now one of my mates has been nagging me to make a Planet Coaster Park build, and I've decided I've got nothing else to do with my time, so why not? For today's video I decided to make the park entrance and a big centerpiece roller coaster. If you read the title then you're probably going to realise that it's just a rip-off Matterhorn, and you'll see later in the video that I actually name it Chinese bootleg Matterhorn for quite a while, before I eventually settle on a name. But we'll get into that later, let's talk about the entrance. I eventually settled on a Universal style entrance. An entrance with the big archways as seen in like Universal, Orlando or Hollywood. And I really want the entrance just to give that wow factor, like you're walking to a really important place really. You will see that I mess around with it quite a bit. Like at one point I just flat out delete the entire thing because I'm not happy with how it looks. But if you stick around you'll probably be able to see the final outcome. I am planning on making this a more weekly video series, but these videos take a long time to make and render, so it might be bi-weekly, once every 3 weeks, something like that. At the moment I haven't really got anything else to say. I'll start speaking probably again when I start building the roller coaster. So at the moment sit back with your popcorn and watch me build this park entrance. So now I've finished the entrance, I'm just going to start building the basic main path of the park, like Main Street USA if you've ever been to a Disneyland style park. I'm probably going to theme this in a later episode, but at the moment I'm just really focusing on that main roller coaster in the middle. In just a moment I'm going to start terraforming the mountain that the roller coaster is going to go in and around. Then I'm going to start building the roller coaster, then theming it and so on. I'm really happy with how this ride turned out. You'll see in a bit that I heavily themed it. It was inspired by Expedition Everest and of course Matterhorn at Disneyland, California. The entire mountain area does take quite a while to complete, so I'll just speed up the footage and cut back in when I get to the roller coaster. Now for this ride I end up going with a mine train sort of theme, sort of winding in and around the mountain in a minecart. Feels pretty authentic. There isn't really a story to go along with it, but I mean the best I can think of is you're part of a mining company and you decide to go for a ride in the mountain and it goes horribly wrong. It is a sort of swinging minecart ride. It just adds that little bit of uniqueness that I think this park needs. The layout isn't too long and it only took me about 20 minutes to complete, but overall the theming, the station, everything like that took me about an hour and 20 minutes to do. It's really just about pinpointing those little fine details and working on them, because if your ride isn't thrilling or good looking then no one would really want to go on it, but that's just my opinion. I honestly think this ride ends up really good. I think I pulled off the mountain look quite well. That being said, I could have added a little bit more detail here and there, but I'll let you decide if it should stay as the main attraction of the park or if I should move it. Thinking about it, I can't really move it because of all the landscaping, but it'll be good to know your opinions on it. So now I've finished the ride, I'm going to get around to theming it. This of course starts with just placing some trees around, getting the ground the right colour, just things to make it look like an actual mountain. So now it's time to theme the sort of troughs that the trains pass through. I decided against using the ready-made snow structures, as you can see here. So I just decided to use the snow boulders instead because they look more natural, they fit in much better, they fit in with the terrain like much more naturally than the other snow pieces. At this point it's just more about having a varied selection of snow boulders. So the game thinks you're putting in more different types of scenery pieces so you can get a higher scenery score on your ride. In a little bit you'll see I add some particle effects in with the ride. It makes it just feel more dangerous if you want. Makes it feel a little more like an actual mountain. And that's really the aim of the ride, to make you feel like you're diving in and around an actual Matterhorn mountain. And that's what I really think themed attractions are for, making you feel like you're flying around different points of real scenery that are actually found in the world, even though you can't actually find them in the world. That's why I'm so excited to go to Phantasialand in the summer, because things like Taron, you feel like you're actually travelling through this mystical town, so just gives this extra feeling of you're actually in the place that it's set. So at the moment I'm just trying to add a little bit more realism to the area, add a few particle effects in little canyons and into the drops, so it feels like you're going to hit something because you can't really see where you're going. This is also where I start to incorporate a bit of rock work into it. Rock work's one of the best things you can add because it's very easy to do, and it adds a lot more heightened fear of getting your hands cut off if you put your hands up on the ride. Lots of the best rides out there use rock work and landscaping to their advantage, like as previously mentioned Taron and things like Helix at Liseberg. And that's the main aim of this series really, to make a park that's believable enough to be real, yet much better than a lot of the parks out there. And I think a lot of parks can learn from people that play Planet Coaster like this, because a lot of the time they just have rides and there's no real theming to it at all. Like my home park, Thought Park, because they have gotten better with this over the years, but a lot of their rides still lack a story and a lot of basic theming elements which you would want to find. Like Stealth is kind of just there, and Nemesis Inferno, it does have the pretty good looking station, but apart from that it's kind of mediocre. I have to say they have improved with Saw the Ride and the Swarm, which do have some pretty decent theming, but I reckon Merlin should take a hint from Phantasialand or Europa Park and really go heavy on the theming. And yeah, they have done that with things like Wicker Man and the Gruffalo, but I think they should really put loads of effort into really making an immersive experience. Like Project 2020 at Thought Park, I want that to be a big ride, but I also want it to have decent theming, a good backstory, and just an overall great experience, because the way I see it, the ride itself isn't the experience, it's the theming around it and the natural landscape around it. And that's why places like Liseberg and Kolmarden, they interest me so much, because they've got all the theming and the natural landscaping all around it. They're just beautiful parks, and that's why I'm excited to go to them so much in the summer, because they're just great parks with great attractions, great theming, great landscape. They're just overall awesome, and from a lot of people I've heard, great atmosphere and great staff as well. But staff is very it's very personal to people when they go to theme parks, because you can get a very good experience with stuff and you can get very bad experiences with stuff depending on who you get, because with the rides and theming it's not really too much personal opinion there. Like, obviously you can think that theming is really important like me, but stuff is a highly it's a very inconsistent thing really. Like, at multiple parks I've been to, I've had great stuff experiences and terrible stuff experiences. It's kind of just a pick of the hat really. That does it for my little rant on theming and stuff and whatever have you. So I'm just gonna fast forward through this bit because I'm sure you would love to see the finished ride in action. So. At this point I'm just putting some final details onto the station, touch up on a little bit of landscaping that I may have missed out at the start, and then to finish it off I'm going to build the queue line. But the ride's pretty much finished now, I think. Next episode I'll do some theming in the queue line, start theming in the main area of the park, and maybe start building into the first sub area, if you will. It's probably going to be a sort of Western or Egyptian style area of the park. Let me know what you think I should do in the comments below. But that pretty much does it for this video. I'd like to know what you thought of this Planet Coaster video and what you think I should do with the park in the future. And I think this is me signing off for the day, so thank you for watching. If you want to press the notification bell, press the like button. If you didn't like the video, press the dislike, I won't get offended. And yeah, peace.